I'd like to call to order the Health and Human Service Committee meeting of December 3rd. It is 3 o'clock. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just enough.
Moving on to item 3, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
Adopts the agenda.
Support.
Motion by Romano, supported by Zenner. Please vote.
Motion passes 8-0.
All right, now we'll move on to item 4, approval of the minutes dated November 13th, 2024. Can I get a motion to approve?
Support.
Motion by Haw, supported by Grott. Please vote.
Motion passes 8-0.
All right, now we're going to move on to public participation. This is the first opportunity for public participation for anyone who wishes to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes on any of today's agenda items. There is a second one at the end of the meeting, which you can speak on any issue. Is anyone interested in speaking? All right, seeing none, we'll close public participation, and we are going to move on to presentations. Can I get a motion to receive and file?
So moved. Support.
And we have Kevin here from Martha T. Berry. Hello, how are you?
Outstanding.
All right.
Thank you so much, Commissioners. 3 minutes and 45 seconds, so you can get in and out on time. Our census remains strong at 96% as of a couple of days ago. State average is still at 74.4, and the Southwest Michigan is still 75. So we have 4 beds offline, 2 due to maintenance that we're going to keep working with, and 2 because we're coordinating with the Sheriff's Department. So we have a male and a female inmate that are incapacitated and need care, and they need to be in a room by themselves. So we take the other room offline to be good partners in that way. Still 7 points away from being 5-star, and we're hoping the next survey, we thought they'd be in today, but maybe next week. We're hoping that we'll get to be 5-star in that. Nothing has changed on that. This is our year-to-date budget as of the end of the month. We do have the amendments in there that we put in before, and you can see we're still in good shape there. We're going to be coasting to the end of the year pretty well on that. I did want to update the commissioners on all that we've done this year. These are the bigger issues that we've done in terms of fixing the county's building. She's a big old building, really good bones, but when we got there, it was in poor condition. It went to fair, and now we can call it in good condition because of all the things that we're doing. We have $225,000 installation of our first 75 PTACs. We also did replacement of heating boilers, steel fire doors, lighting fixtures, replacement of vacuum pump systems, and more. You can see it in there. I'm pleased to say we have more PTACs coming, and we actually were awarded a grant from the Michigan Public Health Institute for $250,000. Unfortunately, the $225,000 to buy 75 went up to over $330,000, so that's what's happening here. We still need the HVAC system, but that's estimated over 3.2. We won't be able to get to that right now because we have other priorities. We are working with the F&O to work on the power transfer switches, hoping to get that resolved. That's a little more complicated issue because it has to do with the morgue as well as the new prison system. We can't just do that on our own. We need help with that in a number of ways. So we're still working with F&O on that. So these are the capital needs that we have. They continue to be the same ones that that Plant Moran had said, although we're keep checking those lists as we're able to. We're in fairly good cash position because of, as we talked about before, but we still are, as compared to before, we're in better cash position. But we do not in any way have 6 months of revenues in which any good business would like to have. Right now, we've got about 42 days in cash position. And these are 2 more quotes we received from family members that we've taken care of for recently. And that is 3 minutes and 12 seconds. And I'll open it up for any questions you might have.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Mr.
Yes.
Evans? Commissioner Brennan?
Question on the HV. It's inadequate right now and it needs to be improved by next spring.
The HVAC system is something that needs to be upgraded. It's about 30 years old. And CMS has made requirements to do more air scrubbing and air handling that our system currently cannot do. It has exceeded its useful life, but we've been doing a great job with PM on it. We are having some more failures than normal because it's exceeded its useful life. So we would like to be able to do that at some point, but right now we are reacting to certain things, and stuff that we can take care of, we are taking care of on that. So the PTAX is one of the things that we're doing. Those are the personal terminal air conditioning units in each of the residence rooms. We're able to upgrade those to use HEPA filters in that and actually help allow them to adjust the temperature, which they couldn't do before. So that's helpful in the HVAC system. That's part of it. We replaced the boilers because that's part of the issue too, getting consistent hot water up there too. So, but our rooftop units need to be replaced at some point, and we don't have a plan for that. We just know it needs to be done, and we may need to do it, you know, as they fail, which will be significantly more expensive if we do that. But I can't impoverish the building, you know, to get that done.
Is the heat by water or is it by DTE gas?
Well, we have boilers that heat the water, and the water goes through the systems. So in the PTAX, and then the air handling is up above. That's all gas related. So it's both. We have kind of a two-pronged system.
And is there an issue with the water quality?
No,
No issue with the water quality.
no, sir.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Brown?
Thank you. Good to see you, Kevin.
Good to see you too.
Congratulations.
Good to hear you too.
7 points away. Yeah, thank you. 7 points away from a 5-star rating.
Yes.
That's outstanding. I remember it was 3 stars.
Yeah.
Come a long way, moving everything forward. That's really great. And zero general funds. That's great.
Yes.
And the accounting that was an issue in the past has been resolved. Thank you for that. You know, so things are going good over there. The only thing that's a little concerning on the horizon is some of the infrastructure needs of the building that we own over there. It's like $14 million or something like that. One of the studies that we had done. That's the thing that we've got to figure out. But right now things are good. So, but anyway, let's focus on the good. And but that's coming down the road. We got to figure out a way to do that. We'll work with you to figure that out.
I appreciate, Mr. Chair.
You know, can have good things going on, but we got to keep the shell going.
Yeah,
You know.
and yeah, and we are. I'd love you to come over and tour, and we can show you all that we've done in terms of infrastructure. Some of the things that are required, we still have to do those elevators, which are required by 2026 to be done, I think, or 2028. I'm sorry. So we have a few years on that. And
There's a lot of. I don't need to see it because I've been over there enough, and I've got confidence in what you're doing over there. But I'm just saying, looking forward, we got to think about how we're going to take care of that building for the long haul to keep that building up, because it is getting a little gray in the tooth, and but we'll have to figure that out. But it helps when you got good reports like you've been turning in, and I appreciate it. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Commissioner Van Sickle?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Kevin.
good afternoon.
If I'm remembering right, you had to replace all the outside door hardware to make it be openable by anybody from inside?
Yes, that's correct.
And is that part of the whole door replacement?
Yes, so the partial of what you saw that we had accomplished this year was finishing that project up, yes.
Okay.
That was about $1.8 million that we needed to do for that.
So just on a curiosity, has anybody broken out because of that? I mean, there were concerns that people might.
Oh, it's a great question. I will tell you that we have one person that does like trying to get out, and literally, we had to put processes in place because they can open the door after a few seconds. So we had people that were caring for for the residents in there, and she left. She actually went out into the stairwell, and the first time they looked, they didn't see anybody because she had put herself literally against the wall, waiting for the people to come. And we said, well, you got to make sure you get into that hallway. And the next person did. They went in and looked in the hallway, and there she was, just going, hey, I can get out. So, but she did not get out of the building. She was still safe, but, and she's strong. She just didn't want to be there. So we've had one of those, but we're able to bring her in pretty quickly. So, and that's the only one we've had.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Zinner.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we've heard about those things on the news in a number of places over the years. I think in some of these situations that you're explaining to us that need to be accomplished, those are state mandated situations too, I think, aren't they? Some of the things that you mentioned today, aren't a couple of those state mandate things that have to be accomplished?
Yeah, the elevators are mandated. The air handling, actually, there was money put in under the ARPA funds to help skilled facilities replace that. That was still a recommendation. It's not been mandated, but it usually mandate follows recommendations like that. So we were trying to get that done before. The other items, air handling and temperature and things like that, there are certain mandates that go along with that, and we have to keep working on that. So, yeah. But overall, again, I'm pleased to say that in the 8 years I've been there, we went from a poor facility to a good facility. It went from poor to fair to good. I'd like to get it to above average. Because it's 60 years old, I doubt I'll ever get to excellent in that, just because it's a big old building. But I certainly will get it to be above average, when we get a few more of these things done.
Thank you. We all appreciate your work and the rest of the staff there too. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Great, Commissioner.
Just looking at your needs in regards to capital expenditures, have you guys looked into any type of grants, like energy saving type grants that might be possibly out there on either on the lighting or on the water heater issues that you could apply for and possibly get some funds to help towards that?
Yeah, we have applied for some of those. We did not get those. We did get the $250,000 for the PTACs, and that was through Michigan Public Health Institute. So we are looking for those all the time. The lead stuff is really complicated because there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through. And when we did the cost analysis, it was not beneficial for us.
Okay.
So all we decided to do was just save everybody money by doing it ourselves. Again, one of the challenges is we have to show the before and after on square footage and things like that of what the cost savings would be. And because of the way that we get our utility bills, it's a square foot charge from the one lump sum they get. It'd be more difficult for us to try and put our own monitoring systems in there for that. So
Okay, because I mean, this was years ago. I know the county did something like that in some of their buildings and was able to get the cost savings from it. That might be a question for F&O. Maybe there might be some other buildings that we have that they didn't get at a previous date that they could combine yours with them. I'm just thinking outside of the box to get you some additional revenue.
yeah,
there.
that's a great point, Commissioner. We do have a great relationship with F&O, and we work with them whenever we're able to on combining costs and getting purchasing done. They've helped us with some furniture, for example, used and new. They've helped us with some of the work that we needed to do when they were doing some things. We try and work with the departments, ComTech. We're actually piggybacking off of their contracts for our security because that was already negotiated. They did a great job with that. So we're trying to save money anywhere we can, and and leverage the county's power, purchasing power to help our facility. Because of the grant writing and the grant requirements, sometimes the grant requirements can sometimes be too onerous for us to be able to manage. We also have to look out to be responsible for the county as our fiduciary. I have to make sure that I know without question I can manage and succeed in that grant without having a clawback. So the higher the numbers go, the more at risk it is. So I have to be very careful on that. So I'm a little more conservative when it comes to those grants, but I do go for them.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Van Sickle.
Thank you. You have backup generators.
Yes, we do.
Do they cover the whole facility or just critical sections?
More and more. When I first got there, it didn't even cover the kitchen, so they were running lines through standing water. So when we upgraded the kitchen back in 2018, we had it covering that. We're also adding. That's one of the things that we want to do with this power. Now that the power plant is being renovated, we want to get more onto our generators because we have a lot of headroom on it. We'd like to be able to get the entire facility, but it's not there yet.
How much is currently covered?
I would say about 40%.
And is that mostly common areas and utility functions or resident?
We have one red plug in a room, and we have a number in the hallways. We do have them in some of our utility areas, but we don't have it everywhere.
But emergency medical equipment
Yes.
could be wheeled in
Yep.
and plugged into the
Yes.
one that's in the room. And,
I'm sorry, I said red plugs. A red plug indicates that it's on the generator.
And are they gas or diesel?
I have one diesel and two diesel and one natural gas.
And how much capability do you have on the diesel tanks?
36 hours. So we can stagger them and we can turn them on and off as needed.
Do you have contracts with suppliers?
We do.
And the new generators would be probably, what type are you looking at?
It would be natural gas because those are cleaner and you can, barring significant trauma, natural gas flow is one of the most stable utilities that we have. So they tend to be able to run. They don't have as much power as the diesel does, but they certainly are more consistent, more elegant in terms of installation, and can run longer.
Would installing the transfer switch for the whole facility at the same time as you do the other transfer switch make sense? Even though you're not using it?
Yeah, the transfer switches are a separate issue.
Okay.
For those that may not be aware, a few years back, we actually we had two fires on these switches. They're about 70 years old. They're the old Frankenstein switches, It actually makes that sound, like that. So, and they caught fire. So when we talked with F&O at the time, they said, well, we're going to be doing some generator changes. We'll do those transfer switches then. The one to the morgue actually fused closed. So it has power going to the morgue, but it doesn't transfer anything. But that's not a problem for them because they put a transfer switch inside the morgue to help them with their own generator. So that's not an issue. What is at issue is it's fused in our building. The second one that caught fire is still there. It's still burnt. And we have three others that we believe we can just bypass and just have one transformer. So that's what we're talking with right now. I think it does make sense simply from a cost standpoint that we do it all at the same time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Well, Kevin, we always appreciate you coming out and hearing your monthly reports. North T-Berry is definitely something that we all can be proud of because you guys are doing so well over there, and we do appreciate all your hard work. Seeing no other speakers, can we please vote?
I appreciate all your kind words. Happy New Year to you all.
Thank you.
Motion passes 10-0.
All right, we are going to move on to department recommendations. And the first one, fiscal year 2024 budget amendment in the amount for the Office of Senior Services, Department of Justice, DOJ Office on Violence Against Women grant for $750,000. Can I get a motion to recommend to full board?
So moved. Support.
Motion by Haw, supported by Perna. And we have Sheila here. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I wanted to, what you have before you is a motion to approve budget amendment to increase the Office of Senior Services budget in the amount of $750,000 due to a grant that we received from the Department of Justice. This grant will focus on training frontline staff in terms of identifying, investigating, and prosecuting abuse, neglect, exploitation of older adults in Macomb County. 30% of the grant will focus on services to victims. That would include development of programs and supportive services to people who have been traumatized or been abused or exploited. We have partnered with the Sheriff's Office, Sterling Heights Police Department, Warren Police Department, Turning Point, and the Prosecutor's Office. So those departments will be representing and partnering with us in pursuing or in implementing the grant. Any
Commissioner
questions?
Hall?
Thank you, Chair. First, congratulations on the
Thank
grant.
you.
That is a whopping amount of money.
Yeah.
When you indicated there were certain police departments that are going to be in the process with you, has that outreach gone to all police departments?
Well, the requirement for the grant was just one police department. We expanded that a little bit to include Sterling Heights and the Warren Police Department. But due to the funding, the training will impact all police departments throughout Macomb County. So it's sort of a train the trainer process. So those identified will be the primary trainers, but they will be expected to go out and train other police departments throughout Macomb County.
So you're training Sterling Heights and Warren with the expectations that they will go to others
Correct.
and train them.
Yep.
Who does the training?
The actual trainers. So Warren Police Department, Sterling Heights Police Department, anybody who's a partner in the grant. Our office will do some trainings. Turning Point will do some trainings. So these partners will all be sort of experts in the training, and we will be scheduling follow-up trainings once we've gone through the training protocol in the conference.
Once you put this in place, would you come back and let us know how it's going and
Absolutely.
how the training is going?
Absolutely.
Thank
We're
you.
we're hoping for some great progress.
Congratulations, that's a great
Thank
grant.
you. Thanks.
That's all I have, Chair.
Thank you.
Commissioner Brown?
Yeah, thank you. Again, congratulations on the grant.
Thank you.
Will this be used to pay any salaries? Are you going to use this money to pay existing staff? And how much of that would just go to pay existing staff to do the training they're doing already?
Well, both. So it will pay for the staff that are going to the training, and it will also pay for a position for a coordinator for the grant. It's a 4-year grant. So we'll be, after the new year, we'll be looking to hire a new position.
So we're just adding one position in the
Correct.
grant. Okay. And offsetting that, the money that's being offset in the budgets by the grant, will those be money to be credited to those individual departments or
Yes.
agencies?
Yes. Yeah.
Like how many people in the sheriff's department will be funded? Because it goes back to, budgets and making sure we've got more money in our budget. Because now we got more money in our budget that we didn't have before, right? Because this money's
Right.
offsetting it. So,
Right. Yeah. So
you probably don't have it off the top of your head, but maybe.
yeah, I don't have it off
If
the
you
top
could
of my head.
supply
but-
it to our staff.
Okay,
So we've
sure.
got that, so we can look at the budget and see how that affects the budget line items of the various agencies that are working it, except for those outside of county government.
Yep. Yeah, we'll be attending an out-of-state conference in January to learn more and finalize the budget with the Department of Justice.
I don't know, in my time up here, I've never recalled such a comprehensive grant coming in to support the program like this. So this is a very unique opportunity for us to really do a lot of good across a lot of area in the county. So if you need anything, let us know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Take care. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Commissioner Van Sickle?
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'll throw my congratulations for getting the grant in
Thank
with
you.
everybody else, and I think it's great. I was curious, since the grant coordinator is going to be a full-time, part-time position?
It's a full-time
It's a
position
full-time position
that we wrote in the budget.
that's term limited.
Yes.
Since it's limited, even though it's 4 years, is that going to be a contract position or a permanent position?
We haven't decided that yet.
Because I was going to ask if it's a permanent, what are you going to do with the person when the funding runs
Afterwards,
out?
right. Yeah, we always look for sustainability of positions, and my understanding is that there is potential for um, extending the grant after the 4 years is up.
That'd be excellent.
Yep. So depending on, how far we've gotten with the grant, and we will reapply for it. So
Okay, good.
there's opportunity to do that.
And when you have partners such as the Warren and Sterling Heights Police Departments, is their participation funded through the grant, or do they kick in their own funding?
No, it's funded through the grant, their participation. So like the travel for the required conference will be all funded through the grant.
Okay, good.
Yep. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
you're welcome.
Commissioner Zinner?
Thank you, Chair. Sheila was at our Older Adults Advisory Committee recently, and I believe you said at age 65 and older, 33%.
18% of the population in Macomb is 65 and older. It's closer to 37% when you look at 55 and older. Right now, there's 212,000 older adults who are 65 and older that live in Macomb.
Yes, but the concern about how many situations you are finding.
Correct.
Or are concerned about.
Yeah, so it's estimated that about 1 in 24 cases actually get reported to Adult Protective Services. And in 2022 and 2023, Macomb alone had about 3,700 cases reported to Adult Protective Services. So it's highly underreported for a variety of reasons. Many adults don't want to turn in family members. It's a proud generation, so they don't like to admit that they've been scammed or taken advantage of. So part of the grant will be to do outreach and education as well to the general population.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting information to have. And since we heard it at our meeting, I thought
Yeah.
this commissioners would like to hear that here too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Yep.
So I do have one question. So with the training, do you think that there'll be any like training going on in the different like senior centers within the communities that might help people that work there recognize maybe signs of abuse and things like that, to be able to, because a lot of times they might just not have the
Right.
knowledge to
Right.
know.
Yeah, it really is a hidden epidemic, because the older seniors who are the most vulnerable really aren't out in the community.
Right.
So there aren't a lot of eyes on them checking to make sure that they're okay. And so part of it will be education and outreach. And it coincides with our Elder Justice Alliance, which we have 2 subcommittees. One is prevention and outreach, and so they're doing a lot of work with the community, the senior centers, to do some education and bring awareness to the population, and so that they can identify and they know who to call.
Right.
And the other part of the Elder Justice Alliance is a multidisciplinary team. So we look at specific cases and, break them apart and see where the system, where gaps are, and how can we fix it to, get it to run smoother.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We
You're welcome.
appreciate that. I see no other speakers. Can we please vote?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Motion passes 10-0.
All right, and now we are going to move on to items B and C. Can I get a motion, or this is for fiscal year budget amendment for the Health Macomb Intermediate School District, Great Parents, Great Start Macomb, Nurse Family Partnership grants. Can I get a
to approve.
motion for,
Or move to full board.
Support Zinner.
motion by Van Sickle, supported by Zinner. Hello, Andrew, how are you today?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Before you is 2 items, B and C. They're the same item. One's a budget amendment in the amount of $45,000 due to the fact that we normally only budget $15,000 in our budget for this grant, but we were fortunate enough to increase it this year by $45,000 through ISD and their Great Parents, Great Start program to help support our Nurse Family Partnership program. This is a visiting nursing program that actually visits our residents, our eligible residents for the program to help first-time mothers with education. So the whole goal of the program is really to improve pregnancy outcomes, as well as the child health and development, as well as economic sufficiency of the family. So it's been really well received. This is a federally evidence-based program for Nurse Family Partnership. So it follows strict curriculum, a lot of training that our staff has to go through. And then once the parent actually has the child, then we have other programs like our maternal child health programs that help continue that support for those families up to age 6. So it's a different program that picks up those gaps. And then we also now have MyHip, which helps with families other than the first child. So families that need additional support for additional children would be covered by the MyHip program as well. So we're just talking about NFP, but kind of wanted to give the overall picture of all the great work that's done by our field nursing team and our nursing division at the health department. The item C is the actual contract for the $60,000 grant. These grant dollars would mainly be supporting staff training because it is a evidence-based program. This program requires training out of state for each person that is in this program out in Colorado, Denver to be exact, where staff members have to go out for a week-long training. It's quite expensive, so this will help offset some of those costs and save county dollars for that, as well as providing educational and outreach materials as well. Be happy to answer any questions. Thanks, Commissioners.
Anyone have any questions? All right. I guess you're getting off easy today. No question. Can we please vote?
Andrew says
I thought you were going to change your mind, Harold, when you said that.
It's the holidays, Andrew, that's why we're letting you off.
Motion passes 10-0.
All right.
Thanks, Commissioners. Have a good one.
Thank you. All right, now we're moving on to item D, fiscal year 2024 budget amendment and 2025 for the Gleaners food program. Can I get a motion to recommend to full board?
Motion recommend to full board.
Support.
A motion by Gross, support by Perna. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Good afternoon, everyone. We are in the process of entering into a project with Gleaners Food Bank, who are one of our largest partners. Most of the food that we source through purchasing comes from Gleaners to the tune of $20,000 to $30,000 a month. Gleaners has a partnership with Kroger whereby they reclaim items that they can no longer sell, but that are still good for consumption. So non-perishable items, in some cases, non-food items that are essentials, such as toothpaste or soaps or things like that. And we are entering into a partnership with them to allow them to use space in our food warehouse to process these products, scan them, sort out the bad or the unusable products. And then the products will be handed over to us for distribution to our pantry partners and to the public. In exchange for doing this, Gleaners will be providing us a stipend of $1,300 a month. So the budget amendments that you see in front of you are for $1,300 in 2024, fiscal year 2024 for the month of December, and then $15,600 per year through 2029 to account for that stipend. We anticipate utilizing those funds for our operational needs within the food bank. And this project also affords us the opportunity to take in an additional amount of food to the tune of anywhere between 40,000 and 80,000 additional pounds of food that can be distributed over the course of the year. So I do have my division director, Linda Azar, with me today if you have specific questions that I'm not able to answer. But that is the budget amendment you have before you. So any questions?
First of all, I was like so excited when I seen this come across because, you know, obviously that's been, you know, it's always a concern. We don't want anyone to be hungry. And, you know, I know throughout Macomb County, there are a lot of resources when it comes to getting food, but making sure that we can help and support those resources is huge. All right, Commissioner Van Sickle.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good to see you again.
You too.
40 to 80,000 pounds of food. I can't imagine what that means. Do you have any idea the pounds of food that a person does in a year?
Well, I can tell you that our warehouse distributes about 1.8 million pounds of food to pantries throughout the county. Linda, I don't know if you have specifics for meals.
I guess that answers this question.
Yes. Yes. So interestingly enough, though, what's great about this program is it's not just going to be food. That's the food itself. And yes, that does feed a lot of people. However, it's going to ebb and flow, right? So you're going to get moments where after the holidays is where we're going to see a significant increase, which is a great time. Obviously, kids going back to school after the winter break and all of that. But there's also going to be non-food. So that's a huge gap in the community right now. And what you're going to see is we're going to be able to support shelters and things of that nature. But as far as that poundage goes, it's a drop in the bucket in comparison to what we distribute through the course of the year, for sure.
Okay, so yeah, 40 to 80,000 out of 1.6 or 8 whatever million is not very much. I was just curious how many people that was helping.
Well, we just typically distribute poundage through pantry networks. So depending on where the pantry is located and how many people they serve, they will get during a pantry day, which is twice a month, roughly 4 to 6 pallets. And that's dependent upon how many people they serve. 4 to 6 pallets usually will only sustain a pantry for about 2 weeks.
Okay, so you do divide it up among the pantries by their usage.
Absolutely.
Okay, good deal, good deal. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Perna.
When you get the food from Kroger's and it comes on pallets, are there vegetables as well?
No, this is all shelf-stable product.
So how many organizations, do they come to you and ask you for assistance or for their pantries?
The pantry network, you mean? We have a network of pantries we currently partner with. So they get a distribution at Pantry Day, which is twice a month, based on how many families they serve.
So they come and pick it up or you deliver?
They mostly come and pick it up, but there's a few that have challenges with transportation, so our drivers will take product out as necessary. But for the most part, they're visiting us to pick up the product.
They visit you, they pick it up, and there are some organizations that you deliver to them.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Zinner.
Thank you, Chair. If you have any amount of food extra, I think Memphis might be able to use any. Phone call I had
You say
a
your
year ago.
family?
Thank
No.
you. Yeah, no, I don't have family. I have family near there, but that's funny. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, guys. Seeing no other speakers, can we please vote on item D?
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you both for coming out today. We really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thank you very much for your time today. Happy holidays to you.
All right, now we'll move on to item 8, which is public participation. Does anyone wish to speak? You have 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll close public participation and we will move on to commissioner comments. Commissioner Zinner.
Thank you. You all may know this, but I read the book from when we were there last, and the other day finally, and I always wondered where the name came from what is it, Martha T. Berry, and of course, who knows the answer to that question? Don probably knows it.
That's a guy's name.
Dr. Henry Berry came from Canada and was a doctor here for 50 years. His wife had died, and when he died, he gave all of his worth to the county to take care of people who could not take care of themselves, because during his lifetime of taking care of people, there were people who did not have money for proper medical care. That's sweet. Nice.
And where did Martha T. come from? Was that his wife?
His wife who had died. Yes. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Romano.
Thank you, Chair. I don't know if any of you commissioners have looked at your calendar that was given to us at the first of the year, beginning of the year. But on my calendar, and I'm going to take a picture of it and send it to Crystal, it shows that this week is the last week of our meetings, and unfortunately, it's not. We have another meeting next week. We have meetings next week, so don't go by your calendar that you have at home that shows the meetings that were given to us at the beginning of the year. I was looking at mine, and it said no meetings after this week, so in case any of you are looking at those and think that's a fact, it's not, check the board. That's all I got. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Brown.
You didn't know we're giving you a vacation. It's just your calendar. The rest of us are coming in.
Show
The
that,
rest of
right?
us are gonna be
I got it. I'm not going to be here then.
Personal.
Martha T. Berry used to be the old poor farm in the county. They called it the poor farm, and they actually had a farm over there where, not far from where that building's located today. And they brought people in and they let them farm subsistence and took care of them. It was a poor farm, is what it was originally.
Wonderful.
So anyway, thank you.
Seeing no other speakers, Commissioner Zinner, I'm assuming you want to speak again, right?
I don't even see my name on here. I'm probably on the wrong area.
So seeing no other speakers, we'll
Motion
close.
to adjourn?
Support Zinner.
All right, we got a motion and support. Please vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Miss Lucido, you get a gold star.
What a great job.